say welcome to my channel, Alex Lachey, and welcome all my new subscribers. I did post my channel on Facebook, and so I appreciate all of y'all coming on over and subscribing. Please share the video, like if you feel like the information I'm about to give is going to be useful. And so what I'm going to first start off with is 5 tips that I think any college senior, maybe even, the second semester of your junior year, these tips would be essential for getting ready for graduation. And I know I'm a couple of days late, people just graduated, but I graduated from Sam Houston State with my degree in business administration and then a double minor in business communication and marketing last year, May of 2019, on May the 11th. So today's the 14th, so it was completely a year ago, which is so crazy. Time has flown by. But I think these are some essential tips. And to start off, if you see me looking down, I have my little notes on my phone. Tip number 1, find out the cost of applying for graduation. I'm not sure if all universities have this, but applying for graduation is the first step to being eligible to graduate. I know this year's seniors they should have gotten their money back. I hope so, because they didn't get to walk. But this application for graduation essentially lets you know that you're going to be graduating. It's typically, I think ours is like about $45. And so if you're working, you may not have just $45 laying around. You really structure out your finances. I mean, I was tried to be on a budget in college, but other than that, just really figure out the cost. Sorry, I had to step away for a second. I have a little Pomchi. He's 3 months and he took a poop, so. But I'm back. Let me pull up my phone. Like I mentioned, the first tip I would say is figuring out the cost of graduation. And I would not only leave that to the application cost, which I said mine was around $45, and there's a deadline, so it might go up if you don't pay before that time frame. So figuring out that, and then also planning for other expenses that might come down the line, which I'll talk about during the 4th tip. The second tip, I would say complete any assignments that you have early. So graduation, I know it's an exciting moment, so you feel like, oh, all my stress is going to be over with. But actually, graduation is a lot more stressful than you think it is. Like, there's just so many underlying things that lead up to that day. And like, when the day comes, you're literally like, oh, like, I just want to rest. Like, what? I went through all this, and all my 4 or 5 years, however long it took you to go through college, it's come to an end. So just really complete assignments early. Knock that out, because finals are right before graduation. You don't want to ever be caught in like a rut of not knowing if you're really going to be eligible to graduate if you don't have the grades. And so always try to complete them early, meet with your professors, make sure you're in good standing, and then that just alleviates the academic stress that you might have. Third, I would say this is something that's imperative not only for your senior year but also your junior. I would say all 4, maybe most importantly your sophomore, junior, and senior year, because that's when you start to get into your major and those classes rather than your basic level classes. But it's to network with your professors. Those are the ones that are there for you in regards to not only your academics but career-wise. Majority of them have been in the field that you want to go into, and so they really offer insight. And I went to a fairly small university. It was nothing like UT or Penn State, like nothing really large, where you're sitting in a class of like 300 people within your major course. Like, my class size was about 30, so I really could meet all of my professors in all my classes and go to their office hours. And whether it was about my academics or if I had a question about a specific career goal I wanted, and I knew that they were in that field or might have networks in that field, they could help you in that way. And that really can alleviate stress when it comes to getting a job after you graduate, because it's a lot harder to apply for a job that you don't know anyone. As a undergrad, you don't have any professional experience. Of course, you might have worked, but it's not comparative to being in corporate America or having a particular skill set. So these professors can really go to bat for you on your work ethic in class, and also be, in a sense, a referral. So you're not using them, but they're there to help you, to give you the upper hand. And so I would say that really helped me getting my internship. I was an intern at the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, the Houston branch, which is like a great organization to work for, and only few get an opportunity to do it. And I would say by me networking with my professors and throughout my department. I'm back. My apologies. I had to step aside for work. I am working remotely at the moment, so I got a phone call. But we're gonna jump back into it. I believe I left off at networking with your professors. Don't be afraid to intermingle with them. They're human just like us. I mean, you might have a higher IQ or whatever, or be smarter, but they're professors and they're here to educate us. So use them. You help paying them. So you use them to your advantage. And then fourth, this should have been number one, but getting better at YouTube, so just bear with me. Fourth, I said start setting up your post-grad career opportunities. This is so important. It helps relieve stress. Like, you don't want to, the goal is not to be stressed your last 3 months before you graduate, or even the last semester. Like, your last semester should be smooth. Like, yeah. So I would start this the first semester of senior year. So whether that's in September, October, it all depends on what type of career you want to have after college. I can speak in regards to people that are business majors and really want to work in like corporate America, things like that. I can't really speak for people that want to be nurses or the criminal justice, or I don't know, teachers. I don't know when y'all are supposed to apply. There you go. But for business majors, there's so many entry-level positions that open their applications in October. Reason being, they want to get all of that recruitment process done with before January of the next year, before you graduate, because those are typically like the higher level, higher paid, higher opportunities that are posted in October, November. And those are just like it's super competitive, but the earlier you have your resume together, the earlier you might have some letters of recommendations together, can help you be prepared to apply for those roles and really scope out like the market. Like, are people hiring? Like, what type of internships can you get? What type of post jobs would you want? Initially, when I graduated, I thought I wanted to go into business development, which I still have an interest in. I have a lot of areas of interest. But it wasn't until I got my internship at the Fed and working in the communications and outreach department that I really love community development, economic development, financial literacy, things like that can really impact not only the community but the generations that are going to grow up in that area. And I'm a firm believer in the community you grow up in definitely has an effect on how you perceive your current situation and what you plan to pursue after or when you grow up. And so being able to make a change, and I'm a really purpose-driven person, and I like purpose, so that's why having a role within the community is something that I want to pursue. But in college, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was looking at everything, applying for everything, but it's not bad to do that to start off, but it could just be really like unreassuring. I think that's the word, unassuring, just because you're applying for everything and you could feel like, you know, you're going for everything and nobody's answering. But it just takes one person to believe in you. So you have to believe in, it takes two people. You need to believe in yourself first. God believes in you already, and then it just takes one person to say, I like her resume, I like her background, I want to bring her in for an interview, you know what I mean? And then you have to go in and win over that interview for yourself. And, you know, God has your back. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right? But it can always be kind of haunting if you're applying for all these things and nothing's working out. And it's like, okay, am I not good enough? Or is my college not holding enough weight? But just figure out what you want to pursue. It'll all work out, you know. And like I didn't even get the offer for my internship until January, and I had been applying since like September, October, and it was just a whirlwind of stuff. So, and then tip number 5 I would say is take your graduation pictures early. If you plan to have a party, book the venue, prepare in advance. So these are the added stressors that I mentioned in the first tip that might cause additional expenses. So whether you're working or if you have the ability to have your parents pay for things, you know, talk to them about this early, just so either one, you can prepare for the financial burden, or your parents could kind of understand what you're expecting or what areas that they can maneuver to help get you the party or graduation pics that you want. Because a lot of people use props. You have to get a photographer, the clothes, you have to buy, girls, we have to buy clothes, makeup, like get your hair done. It's a lot of expenses that you don't initially think about, and if you're working, you need to save for that. So for me, I guess I would consider myself frugal, but I like name brands, but I don't have to have like the best of the best. Like if I have something that can do the job of something that costs a lot more money, like I'm gonna go with the cheaper option, baby, because I can spend that additional money somewhere else. So I was gonna go with this like photographer that takes great pictures at my university, but I ended up like, yeah, it was like, it was by chance. It was God, really, because I had found the person and it was just like so much that they wanted. I mean, they had great pictures, so it was definitely worth it. But I was like, I really just don't want to spend that much money. And so then I was walking in the yard area on campus, and I saw this person, and she had like this big old photography camera. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask her, did she take graduation pictures? Because I need somebody affordable. And I just went up to her and I'm like, hey, like, do you take pictures for graduation? I need somebody to take my pictures, and I'll pay you. Like, how much do you charge? And like, it was so cheap, and she took all these photos, and she literally spent like half the day with us. 'Cause some people, they'll charge you for like how many different outfits you want to take by the hour. They'll charge you by how many frames they take, if you want a video, like all these different added charges. And like, she was just like, I'll charge you by the hour, I'll take however many pictures you want, and then I'll just send them to you. She's like, I'll do light editing. She's like, I want to do a lot of work on that. She's like, if you know how to, I told her I know how to do editing a little bit, so I'm gonna stress the truth just a little bit. I know how to edit, and I was like, I'll do it. And she took my pictures, and so that was a cheap way to get my photos. I'm not a really extra person where I need a video, or I was just like, just give me some cute pics, I'll make those work. And then for the party, my mom is my rock, and my dad and my stepmom, they helped me out with that. We got a venue. We booked that January, let alone I graduated in May. We had to book that in like December, January. And my mom is like such a stickler on doing things in advance, being really prepared. And so like, she was nagging at me to get that venue, or to find a venue. Then I found that one, and it worked out really well. So find the venue early, because those things book up so fast. Downside would be if you're in a pandemic and you book your venue, I don't know if they do like, I don't think they would do returns. Like, you have to just pick a different day. So I feel bad for anybody that booked the venue for this year's 2020 graduation, because they didn't get to use it. Hopefully the venue works them out. But we had to book in January, December-ish, and then, you know, get the catering. You know, I was cool with just cooking. Like, if my family wanted to cook, that's fine. But I think we ended up getting like Olive Garden. It was easy. Pasta. I really love the soup, the Toscana soup. So that was like lunch or whatever, breadsticks. So that was cute. I had, you know, you gotta get your cake made, things like that, your little photo booth. So just depending on how many things you want to have in your graduation party, get those out the way as soon as possible, because it relieves stress. Like I said, the last 3 months of college so much is going to be going on, and you just want to have a clear mind and really focus on the big day. And so that's all I have so far in regards to my 5 tips. I'll put them down in the description so you can have them clearly. I'm still working on my YouTube, I guess, scripts, and working on that. I kind of just go with the flow. Shout out to all the people that graduated May 2020. This is definitely a hard season for y'all. I mean, school was basically canceled beginning of March. Like, I went on a vacation. I went on a cruise with some of my line sisters, and next thing they know, they're coming back with no school. You know, they're coming back with extended spring break and then no school. So they essentially left not knowing they weren't going back, and that was their senior year. So shout out to all y'all. I mean, it's definitely going to be a hard season in regards to, you know, finding post-grad job, just graduating in the midst of this stress. So I'm going to do a little reaction to that and just see my thoughts. And so stay tuned if you're interested. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, share if you feel like these tips were helpful. In any areas that you feel like I can do some videos on, definitely help me out and comment. I think I'm gonna do a hair video, part of my sketchiness, but I'm gonna do a hair video, so you can expect that coming up soon. Peace.